Will that go away?
What's that?
That piece of paper on the screen? Okay,
Are you good?
Yep.
Okay. All right, would you like me to?
Yeah, meeting called to order. Welcome. Good afternoon. This is Gail Charette. I am calling this meeting of the Yarmouth Commission on Disability to order at 3:04 p.m. Sarah will now read the open meeting law.
This is to formally advise that as required by general law, chapter 30A, subsections 18 to 25, and pursuant to chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law on June 16, 2021, as extended by chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, the Yarmouth Commission on Disability will hold a public meeting on Thursday, August 10th, 2023 at 3:00 p.m. at Yarmouth Town Hall, 1146 Route 28, South Yarmouth, Mass. 02664. The public is welcome to attend either in person or via the alternative public access provided on the agenda. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. The chair will introduce each speaker on the agenda. If you are participating remotely, please remember to unmute your microphone and face the microphone on your computer when you are recognized to speak so you can be heard clearly. Please remember to mute the mic on the Zoom app or mobile phone when you are not speaking. Evelyn, since you're the only one on Zoom, I don't think you need to mute. I think you can just keep your mic open.
thank you.
I think it just gets too much to have to go back and forth. When a participant wishes to interject a question or comment, please wave your hand physically or remotely and ask to be recognized. We will now proceed with the meeting. Turn it over to our chair.
Thank you. As a preliminary matter, I will confirm for the record the members and staff present, and they can hear me now. Members, when I'm calling your name, please respond in the affirmative. Jean Boyle, Vice Chair. Yes. Drew Kraus, for absent. Jessica Simmons. Yes. Mary Belvin. Yes. And Zoom, Evelyn Deal.
Present,
And Gail Charette, Chair, yes. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Sarah O'Reilly, Director of Human Resources and ADA Coordinator.
Present.
Thank you.
And I wanted to just acknowledge Alisa Davis, who's joining us. She's also a staff person with the town. You can come up here. Yeah. She works in our senior center as outreach coordinator. She's relatively new to the town. Not that new though anymore.
I was gonna say, no, not quite. I feel very new, but.
When did you
Yeah,
start,
actually,
Lisa?
May.
May.
Yes.
So she asked about attending and I told her, of course, it's a public meeting. She can come whenever she wants. So.
Thank you. Let's see now. We'd like to welcome Donna Arnold, who has decided to join us and is now going through the process, and we thank you for that. And also for Alisa. And if you would like to speak, you may just raise your hand and we'd love to hear your comments. Thank you very much. Before we begin this meeting, I move to add to the agenda the Ycod webpage update, and I'd like to add that directly after the IT town webpage. I neglected to put that on there. Do I hear a second?
second,
Thank you. Are there any discussions? It's time for a vote. Jean Boyle, Vice Chair.
Yes.
Wait, I'm sorry.
I thought,
I'm catching up since Drew isn't here, so I'm taking the minutes. So forgive me. What are we taking? What was the motion?
okay, on the agenda, I neglected to add the Ycod computer. It should go right underneath where the town webpage, yes. So I just wanted to make reference to it.
So you can put it right under new business. So it's bring it up there.
Okay, we'll put on the new business. I wasn't sure.
I don't think you need to vote on that, though.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, good. All right. So we need a motion for the minutes for July 13th.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as being written of July.
Thank you. And
I
Jean,
second.
Jane seconded. Are there any discussions on that? At this time, we need a vote. Jean Boyle, vice chair.
What?
We
Vote on the
vote on
minutes.
the minutes for the motion.
You made a motion, now we have to vote on the minutes.
Oh, I thought we just did that. No,
No,
okay. I make a motion that we
The
accept.
motion's been made, you just,
You made the
she did.
motion, you made the motion, you just need to say yes, you accept the
Oh, I
minutes.
did say yes.
right, but now
Okay.
we need a roll call.
We're roll call vote.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Don't feel sorry. I probably didn't say it right.
That's
So,
okay.
I-
Carry on.
Yes,
all right, it is time for a vote. Jean Boyle, vice chair.
yes,
Jessica Simmons.
Yeah.
Evelyn Beal is on.
yes,
Mary Billbon, yes. And Gail Charette, chair, yes. Motion passes. The minutes have been accepted. Next on the agenda, the tracker updates. And Mary, would you kindly please?
Yep, so Gail's gonna do this with me. So, from what I understand on the tracker, Mike's roast beef, which is located on Route 28, was not in compliance, when this ticket was open, but Gail went and took a photograph. It looks like these signs have now been installed. So now that they're in compliance, so we can actually close that on the
Yes.
tracker now?
Yes.
Does everyone know the tracker? No? Okay, that. Do you want to explain that, Gail?
Okay. What a tracker is that when a resident or anybody that would like to make a comment, they go to the webpage and they can go directly to us or go to the town. And once that is generated, there's a form, then it gets sent to whoever department or committee or commission. And from there, what we do is that we actually track it. We track the information, find out how to take care of it, how to solve the problem, and then.
we just someone in the town told you Mike's roast beef
Right.
didn't have a handicap spot.
Right.
Well, in this case, someone made a complaint to the state actually for Mike's roast beef, and so then we were copied on that violation. And then they were given time to resolve it, so we keep track of anything that is kind of coming in the direction of. So
And
it
this-
could be either the website or
Yeah.
just another item.
And this is a very good resource. And so it's one way of us communicating with the townspeople. And I think we have to do more as far as advertising this, because I don't think a lot of people know this. So this is something that we should be thinking about and working on. We didn't know about it either. Right, right.
So can I just add something?
Oh, yeah.
This is on the Disability Commission page. It's not really for the whole town. It's actually specific to something we built on the Disability Commission page. There's other avenues of engaging with other committees and such, but this specifically is on the Commission on Disability page where someone can bring up a concern. So
Well, yeah, but it also is on the master webpage.
it's on the Disability Commission webpage.
I
It's
know.
within the town site,
Right.
but it's not. My point is that this specific tracker is on, within the town's website, it's specific to the Commission on Disability.
Okay,
So the town has different pages within our website, and the Commission on Disability has one of those pages.
right.
And the tracker is it's a contact us form that's on the Commission on Disability page. There are other ways to communicate with other areas of the town, but the one we're talking about is specific to. I just didn't want you to think there was one on like other, there might be, but.
Well, there is a general one right up front, at the very first of the webpage, the town, under agenda. Because you can go through there as well. But yes, we have our own, which is very unique, because other commissions and departments don't. They have a general one, we have an actual one. But the way we want to reference is, it's not just going through www.thearmy.ma.us, we want to put /468. That gets us directly to the commission. And then we can correspond from there. So, yeah. Next.
All right, so the next one is at Sharkey's. Now this tracker it looks like it was reported back in May. And it was reported to the state in the complaint, which I'm a little confused on. It says it was lacking van accessible, okay, the signage. So it has the parking space for the van and for the car, but it does not have the signage indicating. So that is still lacking. So I don't think they've done anything since they received the letter.
That was a year ago.
Over a year, so a year and a half ago,
2021.
2022, I just realized that. So
I don't think they even had the symbol on the ground
Yeah, they do.
No,
back then.
No, they
Back
did.
then,
out of that, I wouldn't know.
no, they
So
had nothing.
my question when Gail asked me to report out on the trackers today was, is this the responsibility of the property owner or the business owner?
The property. owner.
So did the letter go to the property owner or did it go to the manager of the store?
I don't know the answer to that. I can look. I don't know
Okay.
what you're talking about.
So because we don't know who the property owner is,
No.
I mean, I believe it's the property owner who owns Scally's, I believe it's her building. And we don't even know if she ever got
It's the same, yeah, it is the same.
okay,
Yeah,
so we don't know if she actually, can you look into that? 'Cause
Mhm.
you have it.
I have a copy of the
Yeah, I
letter.
mean, I don't have the letters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that one open. And that, but let's move on though.
So,
Once we get the letter, once we know what's going on,
right,
if it's sent to the wrong person, obviously, that's easy, we just send another letter out, right?
right, but I was, so one of the things, so I don't know. I'm gonna still play the card that I'm newer on this commission. Because, this is new to me, and I was talking to Gail earlier about, you know, we should have more of a timeline, right? Like if this complaint was a year and a half ago, you know, that's a long time for people that are going in and out of this business establishment to be having these issues, right? So if let's say the letter was sent to the property owner and they don't comply and there's not another complaint, we have no authority, right, to do anything except maybe notify the building commissioner and ask them if they can send another letter or redraft it. Like, what's the appropriate steps? for
So
this commission?
when these concerns have been brought to our attention, we have redirected, like if it's something like that, where it's like an enforcement issue, we've redirected them to the appropriate party within the town.
Right.
It is a little bit interesting with those ones that went to the state, because my understanding is they have a certain amount of time that they're supposed to resolve it. And then they get like another letter potentially, I don't really know what the implications are. I think ultimately what happens at a certain point is their occupancy permit gets pulled. But that's not until they've been given a couple of opportunities to correct it. And then the state would then notify our building department, and then the building department would be directed to pull that.
I just think.
That's my understanding
It
of
sounds
the,
like to me on the state end, just because I'm working with Mass DOT on some other projects, that they're so overstaffed on the state level that they probably have no one that's following up.
you mean
on this.
understaffed?
Yes. Well, their staff is overwhelmed, yeah.
It's not overstaffed. I was like,
They're not
I don't think they're
overstaffed.
overstaffed.
No,
Here's a question, when the building or the property owner is notified that they need proper parking, are they even aware what proper parking is? Maybe they think that this is proper and appropriate.
I believe the letter describes
It
what
does, okay.
where they're missing, what they're.
They actually need that.
Yes,
that-
it spells out what,
Okay.
how they're,
See,
and I
I'm
believe it
saying
even
she-
has, I believe it even had pictures, if I
Oh, perfect.
recall.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
have it upstairs, so I'll take a look at it.
Just
I
so
don't
things like this don't, because it's time consuming for us and it's also not fulfilling the need that's in the public.
Right.
So if you could follow up on that. that
Yep.
would be great.
Yep.
Okay. Good on that one?
What Sarah could do is bring what she got from the state, then we can see it.
Right.
That's important. Right. We know.
Yeah, I brought it when it first came up, but
Right, yeah. All right, the next one is Quest Labs up in Yarmouthport. And I'm not sure when that actually opened, but let's see if you have that.
That was January.
It was January of this year.
Yes.
So the property owner, this was, having access into where they're calling handicapped accessible door. And I had gone up there, I think several of us had gone to that location and the boards here were all rotted out and buckled nails were coming up and, so they've replaced that. And did they repave this? Is that what the property?
I
owner?
don't think they did repave it.
I
it
think that
something
was like that already.
Something like that, even.
I think the symbol is,
No,
Okay.
the symbol was there
It
too.
was there
It
too.
was there.
So
at the
there's,
time of the.
Yeah,
complaint?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it. I have pictures of it.
so while they fixed the boards that were rotting, there's still, if any of you have been disabled, you would know that when you have that big metal lip, so there are a couple different things. Where's that other picture with Jean?
Right here.
So here she is trying to go in with a walker. So there's no way for her to open the door and then to get over the lip, because there's no automatic door opener. I'm sorry you can't see that, Evelyn. So again, it comes back to what authority do we have? And what's in compliance and what's not, because the building commissioner may say that's in compliance.
There are a lot of buildings that don't have the automatic door opener.
Right.
I've
So-
often thought about that. I don't know what compliance is, but when I'm pushing a wheelchair with my daughter, there are many
Oh,
things that I have to go
insane.
into, and I just go backwards or whatever.
Right.
And I make do, but
Right,
I
but
always
if you
think
didn't
about
make
someone
sure you
else who
didn't
didn't
have
have that ability.
And there's certain things that they only have to do if they're doing work. Like if they, you know what I mean, if
Right.
they pull a permit,
Oddly.
yeah. And so,
It's like,
so with this one, what happened was we received this concern. This one did come in through the website. And I had talked to the building commissioner and let him know what was going on. And he actually looked up who the property owner was and we contacted them and they have done the work that they did as a result, I believe, of that contact.
Yep.
But it wasn't like an enforcement issue per se. He kind of it was sort of outside of that, like building permitting process where he said, hey, you know, this concern's been raised and, you
Right.
know, kind of worked with him to advise him, which obviously it's a medical facility. So of all things, you would expect that they would not only know that, but, you know, take care of it. But this is again, where it comes down to, there's a difference between being the tenant and being the property owner. The tenant is the medical facility, but the property owner is not. It's not, they're not the same person or the same organization. So, at any rate, I think you emailed me about this, right, last week? About there wasn't a place to.
Oh, yeah, the extended
Yeah.
platform, yeah.
So I did forward that to our building commissioner. I haven't gotten a follow-up. I honestly kind of forgot about it so I did ask him about it. I didn't hear back.
Well, when we have the walker and we use the walker, even with the platform extended, it's not gonna do any good. And I'm trying to think of a way that would make it, you know, like less expensive for the owner, okay? Because I guess those items can cost anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000, okay? So if you have a button, like a ring button, right, and you press it, that might help. However, the problem is having somebody come from the back of the office in a relatively short period of time to open the door for you. Okay, relying on another person is rather difficult when you have impairment and you're standing there for a while. I know for a fact, because I had a problem where I was using a walker and I can't stand for a long period of time. So trying to accommodate them to say, okay, let's just get a doorbell and we'll do the best we can. That I don't think is a good option. To add an automatic door opener would make, common sense. However, we don't have, the federal government does not even have a law stating that this has to be done in a medical facility. So our hands are tied. So what I thought we'd do is let's look outside the box. And I was showing this to Mary because she's with the business community. And it has to do with tax incentives for businesses. This might be a way around it, okay? I'll pass this around. I did find them.
Oh, good.
And this way, this will give us an idea of maybe we can educate them, because that's what our job is to educate, inform, and help them along. And see if we can get, them to take a second look and see if it's feasible that they can put this in their budget and they're willing to do something like that. So
Well,
that's,
and I think it would be good too for the building commissioner to actually let his staff know so that they could talk business on.
Can I have another?
oh, sure. And so leading up to that, what I thought about was, as these trackers are so old, one way of trying to eliminate the repetitiveness of going nowhere is to form like a subcommittee that can actually come up with creative ideas to put together a program, like a packet, that we will have available, and that for any department head in the town, where if they're having an issue, here's something that you could use, to when you're approaching the owner or the landlord, and leave them with that information. And because this is just one part of the puzzle, because if you're doing like a parking lot, okay, I know I'm going backwards, but it has to do with the same thing. There's information on like 1 to 30 cars, you have one van parking lot, and then, it continues on. I don't know all the numbers. So we can put together a packet where it makes sense, and it would be very helpful to the business owners and to the landlord, especially to, our department heads, because they don't have to talk about it. They can just say, review this, please, because I think you'll find it very, helpful, and hopefully we can come to some resolution to fix this problem.
I think what would be,
You want 3?
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
If this is just a thought, if anyone wanted to make this motion, that we include a link to this information on the disability. Yeah. Disability.
That's a very good thing. That's very good.
I don't know if anyone is inclined to.
We can do that when we're talking about, Sarah, the webpage.
Okay.
That'd be perfect. Good idea. I like that. Good. So any other?
Question, can it also be linked to the building department so that when businesses come in for their permits or whatever, that it's in that area?
I can ask.
Because that's where you're gonna pick up people who aren't. thinking
Right.
Very
about
good,
it,
Donna. Yes,
Versus on the disability page, you're gonna pick up people who are already thinking about it.
right.
I'm actually gonna make
Distraction.
copies and leave my husband's office.
Here, take 2.
He's on a tax accountant.
So that would make
Great.
sense. Yeah. Maybe you can ask him about that too and get
Yeah,
back to us on that.
that's
Yeah, I
the first
appreciate
thing.
that.
When I get home, I'll be saying, hey, what do you know about this?
That's cool. All right, good.
He probably does, but he might not necessarily inform his businesses when they come in to
Yeah.
be proactive about it.
Right.
But
Because and the other part of this is this, it goes even further. Think about insurance companies. Okay, I own several businesses, and believe me, if you're not careful, if somebody falls, you get sued. I've been sued once, and that was too much. Okay. Luckily, we did not have to pay any money. The guy was illegitimate, and it was found out that way, because you have to be very proactive. So if you have a building that you are servicing consumers that have medical issues, you know right away that they're not in good health. So that's a logical thing, right? And usually when insurance companies come out to your your property, because believe me, they write everything up. I mean, I get this all the time, and all my residents. And we'd have to go through, and then we would, fine tune some things, and then we'd say some things, that doesn't make any sense. We go back and forth, okay? Long story short, they want to protect from being sued, as well as we want to protect. So if a business owner can talk to their insurance company, perhaps if they spend the extra money and they do put in these, suggestions that we think would make it safer for people going in and out of their business, without falling and hurting themselves and suing them, then, and if they get a credit, like a discount, that would behoove them too. And not only that, but then, you don't have to worry about being sued and your umbrella insurance. I mean, it's a snowball effect. Because when you own a piece of property, a landowner, you are really responsible for that individual. That's their home and you have to take care of it. That's the way it goes. And there's some good landlords and some bad ones. So anyway, so I think that if we also maybe find out from an insurance company, what do they look at when they're going out to, these medical facilities? I'm using medical facilities because it seems like we have another one that's another issue. So that's why I'm saying that. But what do you think about that, about insurance companies? Have you heard anything about? Never, yeah, okay. So, anyway.
Would it be appropriate at this time to make a motion that we form a subcommittee to look into this within the time frame, like within 3 months, if it hasn't been taken care of, the subcommittee could go to work on it?
I think it's appropriate, because otherwise we're just gonna be talking about it, and not doing anything about it. So, would you like to make that motion?
Okay, I make the motion that we form a subcommittee to handle this side of the problems that are come up through the tracker, or that are presented to us for advice and solving and so forth.
Do I hear a second?
I guess I'm not clear on what the sub.
Well, what it is that if we're trying to put together, we'll say, a packet, right? We have to investigate what is best to use, such as that piece of goods. Another would be, I contact an insurance company and say, hey, this is what I want to ask you about. If you're going out and you're looking at facilities, when you do your yearly inspection, right? Are you concerned about, certain things such as like actually getting into a building if you have handicap problems or anything like that? I mean, I don't know if they even think about that stuff. I don't know. So I thought maybe if we just, check it out. I mean, how else are we going to find out about these things if we don't do some investigating?
I made a motion. Did I have a second?
We're still discussing something, but we should probably make the motion and then we discuss it. That's what you're supposed to do it. So, yeah, we hear a second.
Second.
Okay, so I do a roll call, right?
No, well done.
Yeah, my question was just, are you planning on making packets? Is that what you're thinking? And where are they gonna be distributed?
Well, I think-
we just gonna put it on the website.
Well, I think what we should do first is probably find out what exactly is needed to put together that would make an informed decision for a person that owns a business or owns, or is the owner of property, right? And we'll just come together with like one packet, but doesn't mean we have to make packets and pass those around. We could do it through the website. That's not probably necessary how we disperse it. But I was just thinking, trying to put something together that, if I were in business, I would like to have that. Then I know, oh gee, I need to do this. I didn't realize that.
But it's, if I can say, just
Yeah.
as those who don't know, I'm the executive director of the Arnold Chamber of Commerce, so. Just directing it towards businesses, I was on a public beach the other day and looking at this accessibility, and it wasn't positive either. So I don't think we should just target business owners, but any public space, right? Because that's what we're charged to do,
Right.
not just the business committee,
Right.
so.
Right.
I will agree to that if that's. if
No,
it's
when I say
expanded
businesses,
beyond-
I'm just referring to these two.
No, I
These
understand
charter
that, but
folks.
there could be incentive
it's for the-
programs for municipalities to make
Right.
improvement, grant programs, you know, whatever those opportunities may be. I think it's a great.
Yeah, so we expand it, right, that's why we have to talk about it, because I mean, I only see one thing,
Right.
somebody else sees something else, but if you don't get together. And discuss it, how are you gonna know what people are thinking?
No, so we're
The
looking for
contributions.
possible resources for,
Yeah,
okay.
okay, so I guess they do a roll call, is that right?
Yep.
Right, it is time for a vote. Jean Boyle. Oh, wait a minute, we have to make the vote. We have
Oh,
to
you got
read
a motion? and-
You already
the
did
the motion.
and
Oh, you got it,
second.
you got it, okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Jean Boyle, Vice Chair,
Yes.
Jessica Simmons.
Yes.
Gary Belbon,
Yes.
Evelyn Beal,
Yes,
Gail Charette, Chair, yes. Thank you. Yeah, motion
It's a
passes.
subcommittee.
Well, that's a good thing. I think personally, people that are involved in, such as yourself. I know you have a lot on your plate.
Yeah, I'll do.
Okay, yeah, but you guys are working. I'm not working, so, I can help out. I'll help out in any way I can. I see the vision, so I'd like to be on the committee, and I wouldn't mind working with whoever wants to, join. Donna won't be here till next September, but then you could jump right in if you'd like to. So,
Well, I'd be interested. in-
Can there be community members? Community people who are not members on the committee? Because I'm thinking you should have someone from an insurance company on the committee. You should have a business owner on there. Like, what are the laws as far as someone participating?
So I think you get
in
into
committee
public,
without being a
you get
member?
into public meeting laws, right? That when you start, I don't know, I
Well, they have
guess,
to be the criteria is you have to be a resident of the town of Yarmouth.
right?
well, let me
Right,
just
I'm just
interject
thinking for
this.
this special committee, I'm not.
Okay, can I
thinking
have-
they're gonna join?
All
Well,
right,
I think what you're
commission,
gonna do
but
is
I was
reach out to those
Right.
resources and
Right.
ask them
Ask them to
for,
bring the
the
information
idea is to
back.
have a couple people that are willing to gather information and bring it back to the
Yeah.
board.
Like I would think. Asking your husband, like
Right.
tonight when you talk to him, do you know of any other resources that would be business owners or municipalities would be eligible for? Right, something like that. I might ask an insurance company.
Mhm,
You might ask. Mark
mhm.
Grills, the building commissioner, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's things out there we probably don't know. You might know things through Cord that there's.
networking. What I found is that, and I know it's going off the subject, but I think it also, where my head's at. When we were trying to find out about Moby chairs, right? I just happened to fall into being at the right place at the right time. I was at an ad hoc meeting where right there was all the people. And I didn't realize that, and so I started talking about the Moby chairs because I'm on the disability commission, I was representing them. And all of a sudden, this one woman gave me her card and said, if you need money, contact me. And I went, oh, thank you. And another one said, oh, I'm from such and such. So now I'm able to network and I was able to follow through with it. I don't think I could have ever done it if I didn't know these people. I know I couldn't have done it, right? So that's why I'm trying to bring in like people that are in business or in that kind of field. Where we can just do a broad approach, even the recreation department can help. Yes, Jean.
Well, I'm wondering, this subcommittee you're talking about, would they be discussing all this stuff that we are now? Because I look at the clock, we're not even halfway through, and the track is very important. Don't get me wrong on that. But we're never able to really finish the rest of our agenda because we spend so much time discussing the trackers. And an hour is not enough for this meeting. And yet it seems that this is what everyone feels they want it to be.
That's why we want
I
a
think we
subcommittee.
have it scheduled till 4:30, right? An hour and a half. But you're right, we've been running much
I
longer.
mean, at every
I mean,
meeting. Every meeting.
Well,
But
you
you
know,
got a subcommittee established. So
okay.
So who else is gonna be on the subcommittee other than you? Did someone else
I don't know.
say that? They were gonna-
I mean, I'll network and find accountants and the insurance people come September, you
Okay,
know. I mean, I'll get them the information before that, but
okay,
be official then, so,
okay, so at least we have at least two people.
or maybe that's what we
And then
should
we
say,
can-
we'll form the committee in September.
That's
even better,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
you know,
Yeah.
as far as the minutes.
We have to, because you can't
Committee
go
will
on
be
till then.
formed in
And
September.
who knows, you may jump on board or you may jump on.
Well, and I know people I could talk to and ask right now.
Subcommittee is only to just be there to do things, but you guys doesn't mean you can't stop and give us information. That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying, right? We'll just
Okay.
compile it. Okay, good.
Okay,
So
great.
we're going to put that for September. Perfect. Right, let's start September on that one.
Yeah.
Good, okay. Good. Thank you. Good, Donna.
I have one more question about the subcommittee. Would it be like a scheduled time and day that we meet on these things, or would it be?
Oh, no, it's always, whenever we did a subcommittee, it would be, we would plan it in advance, at least a week to 2 weeks in advance, so it's something that would be planned. So if that's gonna make you feel better, like you can do something, then you tell us, hey, this is what I can do, and we accommodate. You know,
Just if there's gonna be a quorum, we just need to post the meeting as a meeting, okay? So just make sure you keep that in mind.
we could even do.
In
a
other words,
meeting-
I don't need to be there, but if there's 3 or 4 or 5 of you, they're gonna meet. I need to post an agenda
Right.
it's a public meeting,
What's a quorum?
yeah.
No, what is a quorum?
Well, we have,
Is it 50% plus one?
yeah, so it'd be 4.
Okay.
Or you can gather information and give it to Gail.
Mm-hmm.
And then she can compile it and bring it to the meeting.
But 3 of
you know.
you can meet without it.
Yes,
being-
3 of us,
Yeah.
and that's what we usually do, is 3.
Yeah.
We only have 2 more items on the tracker. I'm sorry, we'll run through it real quick.
Okay.
Xfinity. I went there the other day. The chairs are still, they don't have any arms on the chairs. So. We'll have to. See what we
Was
can
it
do.
is that the one that the letter got sent to
Yes.
them? Okay.
Yes. And so that's one, okay.
And again, yeah, now that falls on the business owner, not the property owner.
Correct.
Right.
So
That's
the
it.
issue, just to catch others up to date on this real quick, if it's okay.
Well, it's okay, it's just, I'm trying to brush it through.
I know, but
No,
in
I'm glad you're doing
fairness
it,
to the
okay.
people who are here, this was a tracker where someone came through and said that Xfinity in Yarmouth had a long line and the chairs that were available for people to sit on didn't have, arms. So the people were not using them because they couldn't get up. They felt they wouldn't be able to get up so Gail sent them a letter
Very nice.
and, requesting and bringing that to their attention.
I just asked, is that the reason it's for the business owner because they own the chair?
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
it's not a building
Yeah.
issue, yeah.
How long ago did you send that letter?
July 26th.
July 26th.
No, but I mean, what is it to replace?
No, it's just the staff is not, if you've ever used that. particular business, they're not very friendly.
Want you to do it all online.
I saw my husband.
They don't.
So should we go on to Shield?
Yeah, we're going down to Shields. Okay. This is what was written, and I'm gonna read it right from the tracker. Yarmouth has a difficult in Yarmouth. Is it difficult? Oh, no, okay. Shields MRI, Iona Road, Yarmouth. Has a difficult entrance for someone using a walker. At the top of the ramp, about 3 feet from the top, there is a strip of repaired walkway. The areas are not level. This has been like this for at least 6 years. The area should be repaired and leveled. I fell August 2nd, 2023. I knew this would be a problem for me. I requested that they meet me with a wheelchair. They agreed, but failed to follow through. Their solution, I should go to another location. My solution, it should be repaired. It's an obstacle. Mark is aware of this. And he is handling it. And Sarah will give us an update at the September 14th meeting, if you don't mind, of the findings. And these are the pictures that I took of the shield. And you can pass them around if you want. You can see where the problem lies. See, there's a piece of granite here. We have 2 different surfaces. And water gets in between here. It lifts everything up. And also it's uneven. So, and I had some lady was coming on, said, do you mind if I use you as a model? Anyway, you could see how, it's not flat. You see what I mean? So if you're walking and you, not only that, I have bad eyes. So I have a hard time even seeing when if it's dark area. And it was it's a brown, but there was all debris over it. And I really had to be careful walking because I couldn't even see that well. It was the other day, I guess it was overcast. Anyway, so I'm walking up and if you're not careful, you could trip on that. It's only that high up. It's not that much, but people trip. And this is something that should be addressed. So hopefully we can get this resolved and it's not going to be too much of a problem. And hopefully that lady's not too badly hurt. So that's it on that. So let me see them. The next on the agenda is Sarah, IT Town Webpage.
So I did reach out to our IT director and the person that does our webpage to just confirm that it's like where it's at in terms of accessibility. It is my understanding that as long as when we put documents on there that are not scanned documents, that those are accessible. The issue is that when we put documents on there that are scanned documents, the technology that reads those documents doesn't work, basically. I don't honestly know. So I know like when I put our agendas on there and our minutes, no, I shouldn't even say the minutes. Because the minutes, the interesting thing about the minutes is they're signed, so I put them on as a PDF. But the agendas, I make sure that they are a saved PDF. In other words, they're not a scanned PDF. But like, as an example, for the Board of Selectmen meetings, Mary Alice always stamps in the agenda, but then she includes it in a packet that has both the stamped agenda as well as the regular PDF agenda. But when you get into creating agenda packets, like the Board of Selectmen meetings tend to be like their packets for those are like 100 pages or more. And that is a compilation of various documents that came from various places that are scanned into one document. I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure I know what the solution is to this. So if anyone has like, one solution is that as long as it's a PDF that is like saved as a PDF, in other words, not a scanned compilation of documents, then it works, is my understanding. But when it's, you receive a letter in the mail or you receive like those, the meeting packets tend to be coming from multiple sources and they're just scanned into a document, which I don't believe. Like, so the website as a whole, in terms of like navigating it and that sort of thing, I understand it to be accessible. But from uploading content, I don't know if anyone has anyone knows anyone that would have a disability that would require them to use a device to either read the content or something, because I don't have a way to test it. You know what I mean? To like really know what I'm even talking about. You know what I mean?
The website
But I was
does say that if you're having problems to contact them and they will provide you.
Do they have a
The
number
doc-
there, a phone number?
No, you click on the link. And then you can get the staff directory and you can input that the issue that you're having, and they'll send what they can to you in that format.
But what if you can't see?
I don't know.
I mean, you know,
Well, that would be the case for the website as a whole. I don't know.
People wouldn't be
what-
on the
yeah, but
website.
you
Yeah.
thought, yeah, but, okay,
Okay, people that are, I'm not trying to be, I don't know this.
I don't
but
know
if you're
that.
blind.
Are you
can
even on the
Is there a
website?
way for you?
you know
to-
what, I'll find out, I'll ask somebody I know that would know that.
Okay.
I don't know the particulars about programs, but I do know that there are different types of programs that can be read.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, but I mean,
But we don't know if we have that, so see, the reason why I'm asking this question is because there's a grant. For accessibility, to make your webpage more accessible. And I don't know if I was it, so I just wanted to bring that up.
so
because-
remember when Angela was helping us get the web page all set up?
Yes,
So this is what I'm going off of from when she was assisting us
Yeah.
with getting it set up. We had a contractor that was helping us get the website set up, and I remember her, being really adamant on if the PDF is like a saved PDF,
then it's.
then that technology will work. But if the PDF is a scanned PDF, it's kind of like if it's scanned, you're not gonna even be able to click on a link on it, even if the link is there, even if it
Right.
shows it, it's not gonna be like a live. Right, so it's sort of a line, and it made sense to me, so I've always tried to be careful with making sure that, when I post the agendas, but then recently, when you were talking about this, I was like, the minutes are signed, so they're scanned because someone,
And that's why the
signed them.
minutes are not getting uploaded.
No, they're minutes, they're uploaded.
Oh, because
Yeah.
because they're probably, well, they're way behind, but yeah.
Maybe not from like last month or something, they should be up to date, no?
I don't know, I'm having a hard time finding
Okay.
out.
So I would think, what other suggestions, Paul? I mean,
Yeah, so I did reach out to him to say like, what is.
So I do work with a few people that have visual impairments. It's actually my coworkers, even mine.
Okay,
And most of the time they already have their own system technology to help them. I know my coworker has, there's accessibility features on her phone,
mhm,
and she just has everything set up in large font or it reads it to her. Or for a computer screen, there are like assistive technology that you can put in front of the computer screen that will enlarge everything.
so will it read to her if it's a scanned, that's my question, if it's a scanned document on a website. That's not like, it's not live in terms of like all the hyperlinks and it's a scanned version. Does that assistive device work?
Could you ask?
Could
I
you
don't know,
ask
but I
her
can
that?
find out.
Yeah, that would be, I think that's
it,
like the
that's it,
key
that- it is the key.
component to like.
Yeah, that's a good
figuring-
question.
Most
Because I-
people that have a visual impairment already have some sort of technology to help them use their phone or use their computer.
Right, but
But if it's scanned.
But if it
Yeah.
doesn't, if that technology doesn't work with what we're putting on
Yeah.
there, then it doesn't, then it's not.
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
can,
accessible
I
to
can
them.
jump on her phone and look at our website and see if it'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, that would be cool. Thank
Well,
you.
it's-
I would think the select board would have had to address that issue.
I would think so too,
Yeah, I think-
but I mean, they do, I know that I know, and you can confirm this, like if you look at their agendas. Their agenda have the scan, because we have to stamp them in. They have the one that's scanned and then they also have the non-scanned. Well, there's a reason for that. And I understood the reason for that to be accessibility. So the links were live, for like the Zoom links and stuff like that. That is what part of what makes it accessible is to have all the hyperlinks being live, So that you
just
don't
answered
have
that
to
question
like.
then. You
copy.
just answered that question then.
That, I
That-
mean,
that's
that's
it,
what
that's
I
it,
understand,
yeah.
but if there's devices that actually
Convert it.
convert it or make it work, then maybe, technology obviously is evolving all the time. Maybe it's not the same as it was even a few years ago. I just don't know. But I know I was told that you gotta have it be like an actual PDF that's not a scanned version in order for some of that.
We're getting close to the end. Disability Commission, this is our webpage. Okay, I'm gonna pass this around. You can take a look at it. I only have a couple of copies. You guys can share it there. And you guys can share it here. Okay. Oh, I can't, yeah, ridiculous. So basically, what we want to do is after it says our vision, right? Instead of, just change this. It says the Disability Commission. We should be using, I think, the Town of Yarmouth Commission on Disability. We should keep this the same though, Disability Commission, because people, it is so common now. I don't think we should change that. You know what I mean? We should just say Disability Commission, but when we use our mission statement, we should change it to the Town of Yarmouth Commission on Disability. That's my suggestion there. The next one is, instead of using website accessibility, visit our webpage and put this underneath this cartoon, and then put click here. I would like to see, and I use interactive form center, because that's exactly what it is. It's an interactive form center. It's between the, the person that's giving us the information, and we're taking that information and doing something with it. We could put click here to contact us with concerns and questions. And then underneath that, we can put website accessibility, view our webpage, blah, blah, blah. And follow through on that. That was my suggestion there. Just clean it up a bit. And the reason why I want to use some kind of a branding or something is because future down the road, when we're talking, people can say, yeah, we have an interactive form. I don't even care if we say we could say session or center, whatever you want to say. So
What is, sorry, I don't know what that would get them to. What's the interactive form center?
it would get them to this. Click here.
So she's just moving,
I'm just
what's on
moving.
the website, that link right there.
Yeah,
She wants to move it up top. She wants to move it right there,
okay,
under the vision.
but also change the name.
No,
of it?
it's gonna go underneath the cartoon. Here's the cartoon, right? Right now, the
Wait.
cartoon,
Under that cartoon?
no, the website card, there's a. There you go, right there.
That's where it is.
Okay,
It's right there.
yeah, but we're gonna just put that down there and move that up there.
Oh, so she's just switching those.
I'm just
two.
switching it
Oh,
around, like, yeah. Sorry, I didn't explain it well. Okay. So I thought that would be kind of, we could put session or center or whatever, but something like that.
So you don't like click here to contact us?
No,
Is that
I
what you're
don't.
saying?
No, I don't know. Well, it's just that when you're talking to people about your webpage, you have to say, well, click here. I mean, if I say interact, yeah, go to the interactive form, then they will go directly to that. And that's what I think, that's my thought.
I
process.
think
And
it
is a form.
So I would just, I would say that if I'm on the website, contact us is much clearer. And more widely used on websites, like that's common for a website to say, like, I have a place to contact us.
Okay,
Where my concern is with interactive form center, I'm not sure I would know what that was.
Okay,
If
so-
I saw those words.
all right,
Do you know what
I
mean?
can understand that. And so how could we? Well, so we just say to somebody, click here when we're talking to them? When we try to put this together, right? And it wasn't easy to try to reference what this was about. We put help us help you, voice your questions, concern, and find additional resources, contact us at Yarmouth, blah, 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 right? But it didn't direct us, didn't direct me, I don't think, when I put this together, to exactly pinpointing to where on that webpage.
Well, nowadays you put a QR code on,
I don't know how to use that.
Yeah,
you just do it with your phone. But I do have a question.
Yeah.
So click here to contact us.
Yeah.
Makes me think I'm gonna send an email to someone to contact them.
you
Are
are.
we
So
clicking
you're,
on that or are we clicking on one of
You're-
these?
no,
and
what's
getting
happening
to the
is
specific-
when you
Right.
click there,
Yeah.
when you click on that contact us, that's what opens up what we're calling a tracker.
That's
It's
right.
one of
Oh.
those forms that websites often have to send us an email, but it's not actually going, it comes to our email,
Okay.
but without having to give the person our email address.
Right.
It's a form where they put in their name and their contact information, what their concern is.
But you see what you just said about contact us, you didn't know exactly what it was.
No, just because it's under here with.
No, no,
And
no,
I thought I was clicking on to here.
Exactly, and that's why I wanted to use something to reference it. It doesn't have to be interactive form, but it has to be something besides click on us. It doesn't, to me, it's
So,
just.
but I think is what it really is. That if I clicked on that, I think I was sending you an email and that.
That's
is
what you
it
sent
attracted.
me, yeah.
I think to Donna's point, the resources title is too close.
Yeah, there needs
To
to be
the
a
click
space.
here, I think click here, when I think interactive form, I think there's gonna be back and forth, like there's
Yeah.
gonna be some kind of activity.
Well, there is activity, because I do contact people.
Yeah,
No,
I
but
mean,
like
No, but
in the
not on
moment,
a form like live.
Oh, I see.
Interaction
You know how there's
means
like-
It's gonna be live.
like a live chat kind
Oh,
of thing.
okay,
yeah.
okay, no, we don't. do
Yeah.
that.
So I think you're right. We could, what if we added the word other in front of resources and then put it?
I think you need to have a space.
Yeah, put a space and then instead of just,
Okay,
does
so-
it say resources?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
resources.
If you just had other
additional
resources
resource-
or additional resources, yeah.
The one.
So how do you want to put other
You just
resources?
need a space.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so you want to keep website accessibility, that part, you want to keep that the same. Okay. And click here to contact us with a question.
Or questions, concerns, complaints, click here.
No,
No,
can't
no,
do
we're not
complaints.
doing-
We don't do complaints.
Wrong word.
Concerns.
Concerns.
Concern.
Yeah, we had concerns last time, but they took it out.
Can we just leave it as questions? Cause
Yeah.
we
Okay.
gotta be a little careful because we're not an enforcement.
Okay,
So we don't want to get complaints or concerns.
that's
I think
fine.
Questions. is-
So basically what we
Right.
want to do is just move this.
Well, I think.
Space it.
Yeah,
if I
space
can
it
say,
out.
The word, so see how website accessibility is green? Right, so you know it's not a link.
Yeah,
With resources being that blue, you think it's a link.
yeah. So we
And
could
it's
make
too
that
close, so if
green.
you can get it a space and put it green.
Okay,
see what I'm
space.
saying?
All right, good.
Mm. Donna, what is the name of the day program you worked in?
Okay,
And
Well,
meditation
that's-
assistant club?
Huh?
And habilitation assistant?
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
that should be on here as a read.
Yeah,
I think.
well,
Yeah,
so we have just capabilities, we have transition.
Yeah.
wait a minute, guys, hold on, not yet. Okay. What? After resources, we want green, right? We want green, we
Well,
want
the word
space.
resources should be green.
Green, right, I got that, green,
And
and
then
with
just put a space.
a space in between,
Yep,
right,
that's all.
okay. Now, as you go on, look at your website. Is there another click here to
No,
contact us?
there's URL
Okay,
links.
okay, good, so that's good. And the last one is this. This one here is, there's a, information that says, I told this to Sarah, I was just thinking, I just wanted to clean this up a bit, but maybe it's fine the way it is. Right now, it says, please use this form for general questions or concerns for information on disability commission or local resources. I put, please use this form for general questions or concerns. You don't want the word concerns. You want to eliminate that, right? So eliminate that.
Yeah, I.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
fine.
know. I'm
That's
worried
fine.
about,
Sarah,
Misguiding people.
listen, you're the AD, that's fine. All inquiries will be investigated and answered. That I think is important, so that they,
Oh, you're trying to add that to the website?
well, instead of using,
can you read what it says now?
I
yes,
don't see that.
it's further down. That's the next page, I think. Someplace around there, that's where it was.
Are you on
Right
the
about
disability
here.
page?
So right here,
See,
under
look,
the United States government, I mean, it doesn't
See,
seem
it
like
looks-
it's in the right
That's
place.
not, cause see,
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, it's like she put
It
it,
is on the webpage.
but it looks like that would be over here if it was gonna be anything.
oh, see, if you click on the resource, if you click on that link,
Yeah,
then
okay,
that
that's what it
comes
was.
up.
Yeah, that's what it was, okay.
So here's the,
So wait a minute, though, so are we clicking on resources now?
nope, you're clicking on if you have any questions,
And then it brings. up
and
the
then it
page.
brings up what you're reading.
Oh, okay, the ones, the concerns, okay. So I was thinking,
So resources is a link. I mean, it is a live hyperlink, right?
Then where are
Well,
all
it's
the
not-
other things listed below it?
I don't know.
It's not resources.
No,
It's the individual.
Could you go with that? Right. Resources, if you click on that, it's a link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, but it's
But
weird
it
the way
just
it
brings
goes,
up the
it brings
list of
up
things that are
yeah,
already there,
the full list.
right?
So
So-
why do, so you might want to eliminate that smaller list and just put additional resources.
Right,
Yeah.
and
Keep
click
it
on
linked.
it, yeah, keep it as a link.
Because that's confusing, because I was like, well, there's more organizations that should be listed there.
Yeah. But Jean mentioned, is there one that isn't there at all that you were saying?
It's right in South Yarmouth,
But what is the name of it? Is that?
Habilitation Assistance Corps.
So it's happening.
The day program.
What was, hold on, we're clicking on resource.
It's not
I don't
listed.
think there.
I don't know where it is now, but I had it.
Or it is.
Yeah, court is on there.
I don't know what that is. I can't find it.
Here, you want me to show you?
Transitions, capabilities.
Are you talking about the resources or
Well,
that? Oh,
this
right here.
note, yeah.
So you click here.
Okay, that's where it is. Okay.
An habilitation assistance corps
Takes a
is
while.
also,
Right, and then when it loads, you'll see.
as well as a day program, a transportation. So a lot of people use
It's at the
it for
top of the
medical
action
appointments and
form.
different things who don't necessarily attend the day program.
It's at the top of the.
gotta keep
Oh, that's right, was, yeah, okay. Thank you, Sarah.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
So Sarah,
So-
just read this one.
Pretty
What do you
sure it's
think?
in
If you think it's good, I mean, you
So this says, okay, what it says now is please use this form for general questions or requests for information on the Disability Commission or local resources. This is a communication form to be used to request information or ask a question, is not to be used as a formal complaint form. Any questions on communications, please contact the town of Yarmouth. I mean, I don't,
but we're not, but when you do the form, you're not asking for local resources, I don't think. on the
yeah,
form.
sometimes they are.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, like we had someone that we've had a couple people we've referred to court.
Okay, they do, okay.
Yeah, there were a few. So I mean, not recently.
Well,
that
what
has
about if we
happened.
just put all inquiries will be investigated and answered? Does that make, I mean, I think that's important so that they know that we're doing something. Thank you for your participation. or
I
to
mean, I
participate.
can go either way. I mean, I would
I just,
assume that that's the case if I'm filling out a form. I mean, I would hope that someone's gonna do something, but that we wouldn't
well,
have the
you'd be
form
surprised, you'd be
available.
surprised. I filled out a form. And I'm still waiting to hear back and I haven't heard back yet.
On here?
Yes, not on this one, on another one in the town. So I'm just saying that I like to know if I'm gonna get an answer.
Well, I mean,
And another.
shame on them for not giving you an answer, because
but-
I would expect that if you're filling a form out, that you're going to get an answer, but I
Okay.
mean, we can, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I don't have like there's no reason not to do it if you want, if you feel
Well, I
like
just feel
that
that, you
should be
know,
on there.
well, I want them to know that we're investigating it and we're gonna answer it and, you know, at least let them know. We'll follow up. I mean, anyway. And the last thing is. we
Point
said-
I
Yeah.
would like to make is I think that it's important when you put a request in that you know that on the other side of the request, somebody's going to answer you. So yes, I would want that in.
Thank you. I would too. Would you?
I have to say, I personally would feel more confident knowing. if I
Thank you.
saw something.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah, because now we are saying we're gonna take care of this, not just
Not it just.
It's
to be
out
put
there.
out there.
exactly. I think that's important. So that's why I mentioned it. So we're gonna use that part. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Evelyn. And the last question I have is, for those, please contact the town of Yarmouth. Well, I'd like to know, where do we contact, the town of Yarmouth? I've contacted the town of Yarmouth and I get a whole bunch of, you want to, this department, that department. Who do they contact? That's all I want to know.
And what are they contacting the town?
Yeah, is there a
Contacting
website?
the town to get the complaint form that we're saying we're not?
It says any questions on communications, please contact the town of Yarmouth. I think we should just take that out. I don't even know what that means.
Right, I don't either. Because they are contacting us, and then us, if they,
Take that
So,
out
yeah.
and put in all inquiries will be investigated.
right. Okay,
And are you gonna entertain a motion to make all these changes?
yes. Well, I'm not personally. Evelyn? Want to
What?
make the,
I'm sorry.
would you like to make the motion that we're going to update the webpage?
Oh, definitely. Somebody's gonna oversee it and make these changes.
Yes. Okay,
I'll make a motion that it has to be a motion. Sarah,
Yes, please.
okay. I make a motion that we do what?
So I think you're making a motion to add a space above the other resources link. Remove the list of resources so that you click on other resources and all of them come up on one page. Add a link for Habilitation Assistance Corporation. And when someone clicks on the contact us form, add to the top of the form, all inquiries will be investigated and answered. And remove any questions on communications, please contact the town of Yarmouth. Is that the motion you're making?
Okay, I'll make that motion
Perfect.
with help from Sarah.
so that motion is made. We all heard it, right? Great. Do I hear a second?
One second.
Thank you. Jessica seconded it. Are there any more discussions on it? Thank you. It is time for a vote. Jean Boyle, Vice Chair.
Yes.
Jessica Simmons.
Yes.
Mary Milborn.
Yes.
Evelyn Beal.
Yes,
Gail Charette, Chair. Yes. Motion has passed. Thank you.
But I need that. Can I have someone's copy of it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But I'm gonna be responsible for making the changes.
All right. All right, we're almost there. We only have just two more. Sarah is
Oh, we can skip the bylaws because Sarah is a big slacker and
okay,
I haven't done anything that as well.
okay.
Just need some.
So Sarah hasn't
I
done,
help you.
you know, Sarah's been busy with that, which is understandable. So we're gonna pass on that. But I just want to bring this to your attention, okay? Bylaws were written November 18, 1922.
The
It's-
town bylaws?
The town, our bylaws that we have, that we
commission.
submitted to, our
2022.
Oh,
that we
Last
submitted.
That's what I heard too, so.
okay.
Say 20.
You said
1922. I've been saying 19 for quite a while, and that kind of disturbs me. I've said this, no, seriously. I have been saying this for quite a while, and I don't understand, so something is in the midst.
You're
of-
living in the past.
Maybe I want to be in the past, because it's much better, I'm feeling much happier and have healthier.
I
Okay,
make a motion that we move the bylaws to the next meeting to be taken care of.
Thank you.
Second.
I moved, okay. So we have to, okay, it's Jean Boyle,
Yes.
Vice Chair,
Okay.
Jessica Simmons,
Yeah.
Mary Vilbon,
Yes.
Evelyn Beal,
Yes,
Gail Charette, Chair, yes. So that's good, all right. All right. Parking, Jean, please share your ideas with us.
Okay. All right, before our last meeting, I think you all know, Gail and I did check out a few of the local businesses and found that none were in compliance with the HP parking law. Just to review, HP signs must have the proper wording, which is here. There should be one handicap space for every 25. A space is not required when there are 4 or less regular spots. And residential parking spots where the spaces are assigned are exempt also. Handicap sign must be 5 feet off the ground, not more than 8 feet. And for every 6 accessible spots, at least 1 must be van accessible. Where there is only 1 space in a smaller parking lot, that should say van accessible. And medical facilities must have 10% of their spaces be handicapped. And 20% at facilities, medical facilities, which specialize in treatment or services for the mobility impaired. So this week, I chose 10 businesses at random, mostly in West Yarmouth. If you want to just take one and pass the rest, they can all be reviewing, swap and whatever. And yeah, I chose 10 businesses at random, mostly in West Yarmouth, and I'm happy to report that 1 was fully compliant. Does anyone want to guess? Town Hall.
Yay.
Yay. Now, I'm sure that most of these owners are not aware of the proper signage. And passing these around, you get an idea of all the violations. So my wish is to send a mass mailing informing them with this page of regulations and a friendly, nice letter. So I have 3 questions. Sarah, will we be able to access funds for mailing?
I will have to make that request. I need to know what our request is.
Okay,
What is the sign?
That
Mary,
is fan accessible.
can I have an idea of how many first class stamps that would be if I want to do the town of Yarmouth?
Well, so again, I'm gonna ask the question, so a couple of them are owned by one owner, right? And is it going to the owner, or are you sending it to the
It would go to the
management?
owner.
So supposedly we have over 750 businesses in town,
Mhm.
400 are members of the chamber.
Mhm.
But those aren't the property owners.
That's correct. That's
Okay.
only gonna be it could be the leasee, right? So they're gonna get a letter like that and throw it in the trash. If they happen to send
Well,
it to
no,
the
but-
owner.
I would have to get the owner's name by
So-
going to the tax
Assess,
collector.
you'd have to go to the
Right?
assessor's office.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's how we would do it. And I would send a friendly letter with the help of Mary.
Well, not for me, because
No.
the assessor, the owners are not who I work with. I work
Okay.
with the operator.
But I think you would know how to word it so that,
Oh, you're talking
No,
the
yeah.
language.
so, right,
But
exactly.
do we have a budget to mail?
Well, there's been
request-
some donations made to the Disability Commission and the town administrator, let me know I know last year you had requested some money in the budget and he said that it would have to be taken from the general fund if there was a request made.
Mhm.
But in order to make the request, I need to have more information as to, he's gonna wanna see the letter that's going out.
Mhm.
And I think.
Because what's gonna happen is the Board of Selectmen are gonna get called about it potentially, so we need to make sure that they're made aware of this request. We need to know what exactly we're doing, what we're sending, and the cost
So,
to send those letters.
okay,
So like how, who is it going to, all that kind of stuff.
all right, Gail and I talked about meeting with whomever is the proper person, the town administrator, the selectman who's assigned to the board or whomever.
So I think the first step is to put together exactly what you want to do.
Mhm.
And then we can bring that forward to those people, but we first have to have, what is the letter gonna say and who is it gonna go to?
Mhm.
And what is the cost of the mailing? And
Mhm.
then we can take that forward to those people.
Okay.
I don't think that, if we do it in the right way, then, they may be okay with it. I just don't want to have it be where they've never heard anything about it, and then
Oh, of course.
these people are
No.
getting letters in the mail and they're, causing.
No, it was our intention to
Yeah.
definitely go.
So
before.
before we would do that, I think you want to bring your exact plan to this meeting and
Mhm.
have this group be on board with what the plan is.
Mhm.
And then you would, we would take it to those people.
Can I ask you a question? Did Mark Grills, he's the building commissioner, he said this does not fall in under his purview, right? When people are not ADA compliant for. parking.
Only if there is a permit being
Right.
pulled. So it, and I don't
So-
even think, no, I don't think it is. I think they were just
So
gonna
who's-
do it as a.
No, so is this really the role of the disability commission?
Well,
Yes.
that's the question.
Yeah.
I think we've got to get some clarification on that.
Well-
Because we're not a regulatory.
No, we're
commission,
at an advisory board
right,
and we're going to advise these people to get legal.
Okay, let me ask you this question. The way it sits right now, is everybody happy with it? That there are
No.
talking, that this is what's going on in the town, and we have in our vision, we are supposed to be an accessible town, and we're supposed to be open to everybody. So my question is, if we're not supposed to be taking this on, right? Then we have to find out who in the town is enforcing it. Apparently, nobody's enforcing it for such a long time. And I think personally that when a visitor comes to Yarmouth and they rent the property for a week and then they go out and they go about and they go to restaurants, things like that. And they need a handicap parking space and there isn't one. That doesn't sit too well with.
No, I understand. I'm just questioning if this is real. I just want, and I understand the advisory and we all agree, educating the public, the business is our role.
Right.
Right, but I'm just asking, is there someone in the town or in the state level that is supposed to be managing this more than us going out and searching
Right,
out?
is it the police department, is
Right.
it the
The
state?
police are not
Because I mean,
doing
I
it.
think our letter could be as a courtesy.
Right,
So the
want you to
police, the
inform them of
police
these
would be,
infractions.
the police would be enforcing like placards and, actual like parking violations,
be
but they're not
someone
gonna
who's
be the ones that are like saying, oh, you
Well,
don't have a sign.
The previous business owner.
no, I.
No, I had to,
understand.
but I was also the owner of the property, right?
Yeah.
When the building inspector came to my facility. They told me I needed to have one parking space because I had 7, right? I had a small store. And that was one of the requirements before I could get a permit.
Right, but.
Well, that's what
So
she's
now-
saying, if you're not getting a
Right, so
permit,
now-
they're not being
But now
addressed.
now that these businesses are established and they don't have any open permits and don't have the sign, the building commissioner is saying that's not his role.
I know, and
So
that's what
I'm-
I'm saying, so, you're right,
Hold on.
yeah.
So what I'm saying, other than this commission, there's no one in the town that is supposed to be responsible to make sure that these businesses are in compliance.
I don't think there is.
No, I don't know if. we
So
know
I
the
need
answer
to, I don't,
that
we don't
question.
know the answer to
We don't
that.
know the answer.
But
That's what
I
should
can ask
find out.
Mark Grove for more information on that.
Yeah, so that's the first thing we have to find out. Because this has been.
But I
That
mean,
would
I
be
think
hard
in
to
the
do.
meantime, you got, if you
Draft a letter.
draft a letter and you outline, who that letter is gonna go to, what it's gonna say. And, I mean, we can at least start there so that we're
Mhm.
making progress.
We
And then
will
in the
do
meantime,
But I have another question. So we have a letter, they receive it, I receive this, I don't do anything. Do I get
So
fined?
That's
so
the
that
question.
becomes the question.
that's
So
exactly.
what I would like,
Exactly.
do you, Gail, when you're networking, have you ladies, you've met other towns that are in this role?
Oh, they all have the same problem.
All right, so they,
So
they
they're
mustn't, so there mustn't be any state or town.
Well, they are certainly enforcing it in Barnstable. There's $100 fine, of which the Disability Commission gets
Yes.
half.
But that's not for parking, that's not for the business owner.
No,
That's for the
legal
placard.
parking
Right, we've already
That's
covered
perfect.
that. That's for the placard, right? Yeah,
This,
Our
we're
play.
talking about, this,
Yeah.
not like,
But
I-
if I didn't have a legal number of spaces,
Right.
that's not.
I'd be curious what other commissions do.
what?
No, I heard a noise.
I'd be interested what other communities do before we really like go forward. So if you guys are in conversation with Barnstable or Dennis, can
Mhm.
you ask them how they deal
I
with
will.
this
I
situation?
know.
Yeah, cause
If someone
I hear
doesn't
what
have
you're
a
saying. I
sign.
think you're referencing the placard. And you're right, Barnstable they're in a different situation. They have a parking enforcement division
know.
within the town. Because they have metered parking and they have, this is one of the things that they do. We don't have that here.
But they
So-
didn't always.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a fairly new thing. In Barnstable, that they have a separate office for parking violations.
right.
You used to come under the police. As a matter of fact, they had volunteers once, and I was one of the volunteers that went around to the parking areas and wrote
So-
up a ticket.
So how are we gonna
and
leave this?
turned-
You're going to look to.
I'll ask Mark.
Okay, good.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
if you could just get back to me, that I appreciate that.
And I think regardless, the letter as a courtesy is a good thing too,
I mean,
to educate people.
Exactly.
I have to go. I apologize. I'll see you
Donna,
on
thank you very much.
Tuesday.
Thank you, Donna.
Catch up.
Thank you.
Nice to see all of you.
Thank you.
I think too, if you could please talk to Barnstable and Dennis. I think that would be nice to hear how they address this.
Yeah, that's a
issue
good idea.
Mhm.
with their business community,
Okay.
just to get some, what other communities do. And
Um,
if you want to work on a draft, I'll work on it.
Yeah.
Unless we,
That's it.
No, we got
We
the
have-
positive. Come on.
Oh, yeah. The last thing on the agenda, oh, I'm sorry,
Can we do that? Just,
what are we doing?
number 11. You got 5 minutes.
Oh, police night out, I apologize. Okay, yes, police night out, recap.
Mary, let's talk about this. Go ahead, Jess.
No, I think it was something really good.
No, it was a really nice night. It was, really nice to see the police force out there and, we did get to bump into a lot of people, but unfortunately, I felt like it was a lot of children. Who wanted to just grab out of the candy basket. So, I don't know
You
if it
made
was
your night.
necessarily an appropriate demographic for us. I did get a couple of kids to take bookmarks.
When you when that little boy was.
What's a bookmark? I was like, oh my.
And I heard you
Um,
brought some.
Coloring books, and we did a handful of the coloring books went, so that was nice. It's just difficult when you have, little kids and their families and they're running around everywhere to try to talk about who we are and what we
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
The demographic was different.
Yeah, so
It was hard, but it was still a really nice night out.
I think it's more like a social thing. I think that's what Dennis probably felt, probably.
I think it's for kids, though,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
For the
Yeah, bubble
police to-
machines, then.
So we're probably gonna be doing this again.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it was okay. I did bring, like a basket of candy and we brought sand buckets with the Yarmouth logo on it. So
Hmm.
just because I
It
thought it
did.
would attract people to the table.
It did.
Because it certainly did,
Yeah.
but the kids were more interested in talking about the candy in the bucket instead of, hi, we're with the disability commission, right? So there was a couple of people, Drew and I talked to, and you and I talked to, but it just wasn't.
So I was thinking about this after, and I'm sorry I didn't get to go. I had a child that was sick, which I'll tell you about later, but, but I was thinking after, one of the things that might be kind of cool is to see if we could, do some additional prints of the coloring book that was created a couple of years ago that was given out to the kids at the schools.
Hmm.
And if we wanted to consider doing something like that in the future, that would be a cool thing to hand out. Cause then it would tie it into the
We
Commission
had
on
some on the
Disability.
table. and
Did
yeah,
you?
it's
Oh, okay,
recognized.
okay.
Yeah, there were a few people that were.
Oh, okay, I thought you were, okay. so they were-
I still have some left. I've been passing them around and passing them around to different organizations, different things,
Yeah, cool. Okay.
but there's kind of going by the wayside.
So before we go to the next topic, I just want to say that, just as an FYI, the Board of Selectmen meeting on August 15th may or may not happen.
Oh,
There are a couple members of the board that are not able to attend, and so we're trying to figure out, the town administrator is trying to figure out if they will have a quorum for that meeting.
You just
So the,
emailed me to send out a notice to everyone about who's on the agenda.
today he did?
Yeah, and he's asking me to send it out ASAP, and I'm asking him for. the
Oh,
follow-up.
okay, so he must have found out that it's, that
Okay.
they, the three of them can come then. Okay. All right, thank you.
so we will have,
It sounds like. we
so
will.
August
Okay.
15th, we will have the meeting, okay.
Sorry, there just was, I had an
No, that's
email
good.
from
I've
Mary
just been
Alice.
Going back and forth with him. this
She just
afternoon.
sent it to me at like 4:05 saying that. he
Oh,
wasn't-
then,
He sent an email to Peter, but he had not heard back yet. He told me to
Oh,
wait until
no.
tomorrow to know for sure.
okay, then maybe that's why I haven't heard back.
What
So
time
we
does that
don't,
meeting usually start?
6,
Oh, it starts at 6 o'clock? Okay, thank you.
so I don't know if you, what you want to do, it looks like it is on hold.
Oh, it's on hold.
If she just got that at.
That was
4:05.
at 4:05
Yeah.
that she said, unless, but if Bob is, when did Bob send that to you?
Bob and I have been working on this since like 1 o'clock,
Okay,
but he hasn't responded to me.
When
okay,
will we know,
tomorrow.
tomorrow, okay. Because that brings us into Evelyn.
We still need, I was talking to Evelyn about it, because she hasn't even received an invitation to the meeting on Tuesday, so I was asking her about that. And the reason she hasn't received it is because Mary Alice was waiting to make sure there was actually a meeting. But I want to make sure she knows about it because,
Just in case.
yeah, I mean, it's important, so anyway.
Does she know what we're talking about?
Oh, no,
I,
it is on, or isn't on. Is it on or not on?
it's,
Right.
it's still up in the air.
Can email her.
So we'll, yeah, so you'll be receiving something from Mary Alice probably tomorrow. In that she's in the town administrator's office.
Is Pamela Barnes no longer?
She is still there. Yes, she works for the town administrator. Yes. Sorry, I stole your
No, no,
thunder.
no,
Say
no,
it.
that's fine. That's
Out
good.
of for every, no one even knows what we're talking about though,
Right.
probably.
Well, no, Evelyn will be recognized and honored at the Board of Selectmen meeting on, hopefully, if it's still gonna be on August 15, 2023. And all YCOD members are welcome to attend, if you can make it. And also, YCOD is grateful to Evelyn for taking that leap of faith. YCOD dedicated its first renewed article in the September-October 2023 milestone issue to Evelyn. I was gonna ask Drew to read this, but would you like to read it? Sure. Thank you.
All right, so the Town of Yarmouth Commission on Disability advises and assists the Town of Yarmouth to ensure it complies with federal and state regulations regarding people with physical, intellectual, or developmental disabilities. We endeavor to educate and raise awareness to our community about the needs and rights of people with disabilities. The commission functions as a liaison between concerned residents and the town. Evelyn Beal, founder of the reestablished Town of Yarmouth Commission on Disability, charter member and clerk for 3.5 years, decided it was time to step away from the Disability Commission that she held so closely to her heart. Evelyn's faith and church have always been central to her life. Stepping away is not in her DNA, but before she retired, there were some loose ends that needed her attention as usual, always putting the needs of others before her own. YCOD is grateful and thankful for her vision and for taking the leap of faith. Her legacy as a disability commission, ensuring the town of Yarmouth will always be a welcoming community. This is going to make me cry. That emphasizes integration, inclusion, and accessibility for all. Evelyn was honored on August 15th by the Select Board. She was recognized for her dedication and community service. It was a wonderful tribute to a fine lady, and YCOD members and friends attended. We're assuming that's all gonna happen.
Better now, I have it in the mouth.
The world would be a much better place if more people were like our founder and dearest friend Evelyn Beal, whom we love and will miss dearly. So
Thank-
for
Wow.
those of you who don't
Thank-
know, she has resigned from the.
Thank you very much.
What's Evelyn?
I said thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You are all,
I hope she's
it's a
good.
blessing to me to have you all interested in working and having the projects go forward. And I'm glad for all the motions you're making and doing. I'll keep you in prayer.
I just want to say out loud what Mary just said. So one of the reasons that Evelyn is stepping down is because she has moved, she will be officially moving to Maine in September. So she will no longer be a Yarmouth resident. So she's not eligible to be a member of the Disability Commission. However, it's a Zoom public meeting. So I want to just say out loud what Mary just said, which is I hope that she will still attend our meetings.
Absolutely.
So we obviously, if it's not obvious, we extend that invitation to you. That you're always, although you won't be a voting member, you're always welcome to attend the meetings.
But I'm a Yarmouth owner of a house, so
That's
I'm still, my ties are still there.
Yeah, they are, yes. And we
And
expect,
definitely with the committee. Behind the scenes.
thank you, Evelyn.
Thank you.
God bless me, love you. Oh, okay, good. Well, this meeting comes to an end. Let's see now. Waiting on the motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn. Be able to do it again.
Thank you, Evelyn.
I'll
Do I-
second.
do- Nancy will say, Mary will second it. The time is, let's see, 4:35, 4:35. Is it, it's time for the vote. Jean Boyle, Vice Chair, yes. Jessica Simmons?
Yes.
Mary Vaughn?
Yes.
Evelyn Beal?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, and Gail Charette, Chair. Thank you all for coming and contributing to this meeting. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Sign
Yeah,
it.
Thank you.
Great job. Gail.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
right on time.
So look for an email tomorrow, okay?
Okay,
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
Oh.
you too.